We're live at Wellness Week number 104. I'm your host, Jamie Dorley, and the co-host, the Godfather, Joe Messino. Welcome back.
Well, you know what? I can't believe it's been a week already. This is crazy. We got the second Saturday going on here.
We're live.
Look at this. This place is jumping.
We got a lot of people here live, people participating online, people calling in. So whatever which way you like it, come on down. We're live at 2419 Baldock Road, right in the heart of Pittsburgh, PA. What a beautiful day, Joe.
Perfect Pittsburgh weather. Can't beat it. They don't give it to us too much in the summer, but come fall, we can knock it out of the park.
Absolutely gorgeous out. So no excuses, folks. Come on down today. We got the food truck setting up. We got Frankie Saunas over here doing some free demos in the sauna. And I think you were the original Kleiner there.
I sure was.
That was over 10 years ago?
Exactly.
And
it's still running strong. The one I bought 10 years ago, running like a charm.
I'll tell you what, those things have been fantastic for you, right? Mm-hmm. And very easy to clean. Yes. Great results. And very durable.
Oh, my God, so durable. It's portable. You can move it around if you want. Just leave it in one spot. But I'll tell you what, you can't argue with 10 years of durability.
So today is demo day. We got a lot of cool demos to participate with.
See the cloud set up?
We got the cloud set up. We got sauna set up. We got free healthy food going. We got the workshops. What about the bar? Is the bar open?
The bar is always open.
Oh, yeah, and we got a new recipe, Joe. Did you hear about this new one?
Yeah.
Straight out of NYC.
Yes.
This comes from 1975. It's a classic, as they would say, right?
Of course.
That is the egg cream.
Egg cream.
There is no eggs or cream in it, but it is called an egg cream.
It's an egg cream soda, yeah. We used to call it cream soda floats. Cream soda floats, yeah.
So any which way you like it, you can float your boat with the egg cream, I call it, or you call it.
Cream soda.
So what's in that cream soda?
Well, we've got, of course, our great mixture. Now, you're using a peanut butter, right?
Well,
yesterday.
You know, I'll let you
vanilla,
my little
chocolate,
recipe.
yeah.
So I like a little bit of peanut butter super shake, which is a vegan protein. It's got great MCT oil, good fats that will help you burn fat.
Right.
Isn't that interesting? You give your body good fats and it burns fat.
Burns bad fats.
Because today we're going to talk about diabetes and this whole cardiometabolic syndrome. But it starts with the food. Food is information. Why do I do a shake a day? Because I know exactly what's in it. I know what's going to tell my cells to do, which is increase energy, increase fat burning, eliminate cravings, and who doesn't want that?
Exactly. It gives your body what it needs so that you don't go for what it doesn't need.
Yeah,
right?
When your body's in that state, now you're building muscle, you're repairing tissue, you're recovering, and you have the energy stores you need to do any activities you're doing that day. So 1 scoop of Super Shake peanut butter with 1 scoop of chocolate peanut butter. The old, you put my peanut butter in your chocolate?
Yes,
right?
yes.
So
what about
combine those together?
Yeah, okay. All right, and then I want to get to the secret ingredient.
There's 2 secret ingredients.
There's 2?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Which one do you want to hear about first?
Let's hear about the Italian one first.
Oh, the Pellegrino.
Pellegrino.
So I'll save that for last.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll add a little bit of the nuts and more peanut butter, which is a high protein, very low sugar, good fats, good protein, natural nut butter. Give that for a little extra thickness, a little extra flavor. You can take that or leave it. And then what I do is after it's all done, because I've tried it in the blender, not a good idea. But if you add the Pellegrino afterwards, about 1 to 2 ounces,
yes,
it really makes that egg cream, which
we
loved and brings back so many fond memories as a kid.
Yeah. I did try that. I did experiment with Pellegrino in a shaker bottle with the colors once.
You gotta be careful with shaker bottles, Joe, because what can happen to that lid?
Oh, that'll pop and just explode.
You know, sometimes people don't put the lid on right. And sometimes if you use something that's going to expand, it will. So check it out. Come on down. We are live at the World of Wellness. You can't miss it now. Do you notice the landscaping changes?
Oh, my God. I mean, the building, the grounds, I mean, that blue and white. I can't tell you how many people have come in and said, wow, it just pops out at you. And it sure
so we're
does.
really excited.
Looks
The team
great.
did an incredible job, not only planning for the building and the outside and doing all the landscaping, the painting. Kevin was really instrumental. Zach, the whole team was working hard out there. and really looks great. And then we get the sign coming soon. So a lot of great changes at the World of Wellness. Come on down. Do you need to be a patient?
Never. You never need to be a patient. We want you to come in as a patient, and when you come here, you might end up being a patient, but you don't have to.
I just talked to one of our great clients who's asking about his grandson, football player down at Central Catholic, and we connected him right away with Alicia Belak, our functional nutritionist, and they set a scheduled appointment. She's accepting new patients, and
she certainly is,
and clients. So let's hear about the professional staff. We have Alicia Belak, functional nutritionist, Joe.
Yes,
isn't that your word?
That sure is. I was glad that she came in with
compliment.
that. I know. I came up with that a long time ago. Functional nutrition. But you know what? She's not limited to adults either, folks, because I had someone bring their 9-year-old kid in, and she did a great job with him too.
Yeah, so she'll do is evaluate you and then help customize a lifestyle program. So we're talking about a lifestyle program. We're talking about what you drink, what you eat, your digestion patterns, your sleeping, your activity, right? Your emotional wellness. Because when you address those, that's the foundation of your wellness program. Then you can get better results with probiotic and enzymes. This is through food and food-based nutraceuticals, right? Getting your macro and micronutrients in, right? Getting in your essential fatty acids, all your phytonutrients. And that way, when you have something like diabetes, which we're going to talk about today, or obesity, you can really zero in better.
Yeah, and I like the way that she starts with food and then takes it right up the pyramid.
Absolutely. And if you look at this whole thing, one of my mentors was Dr. Jeffrey Bland. He's called the father of functional medicine. He worked with Albert Einstein School of Medicine years ago. He worked with Hippocrates Health Center. He was instrumental in Linus Pauling's work on vitamin C. He goes way back to the 60s. And he was my mentor when I worked for him for about 7 years. And, what really struck me about Dr. Bland was, one, you get the mind to open up, right? The mind and the parachute have a thing in common, right, Joe? What is that?
They only work if they're open.
Well, they work much better when they're open, right? Yeah.
Well, parachute, yeah.
And the mind,
sure,
right? So you got to keep an open mind, right? But he would get you to expand beyond what we think is possible.
Right.
Right? And what he said, this whole thing with genetic determinism, meaning, hey, my grandmother and my mom had heart disease, that means I'm going to get it. He says it's a fallacy.
Yes.
Right? And
it was a cop-out for a lot of people, right?
Yeah, it is. And he says, look, some conditions, genetics may play up to about 30% role. He goes, I'll give them that much for certain conditions, right? Sickle cell anemia, things like that. He says, however, you still got 70% impact. He goes, I will take that.
Sure, anything.
If I have 70% impact in my health under the worst of conditions, I'll take that chance, right? And he says most genetics are probably around 10 to 12%. So it does have a role. But I'll give you an example. You have a brother, Gary?
I sure do.
Right. So you guys have the same genes, of course. If Gary's down visiting on a day like this and he goes out in the sun and you stay inside for 3 or 4 hours and he comes in, what's going to change with his skin?
Yeah, he's going to be affected by the sun. The skin will change.
The environment,
and deepen.
right?
Yeah.
His genes did not change.
Not at all.
The environment. So
not at all.
What you put your body in, the environment is more important than the genes. You can't change the genes, but you can change how they work and how they express, right? If you think about this, think about a smoker.
Oh, my God.
How does their skin look?
Skin looks dried and crinkly and rough, right? Yeah, because the oxygen's gone out of it.
Right. So it's the environment is more important, and the biggest thing you do
now,
is the
didn't
food.
Dr. Bland actually coin the phrase epigenetics?
Oh, yeah.
That's him, right?
Nutrigenomics, epigenetics, this is all Dr. Bland. He's been instrumental in not only nutritional frontiers and world of wellness, but you could pick out the top 10 to 15 nutraceutical companies out there. Somebody there worked with him. Maybe the owners did, right?
Yes.
And he had tremendous impact with the IFM, of course. He created the Institute of Functional Medicine. And this is a great guy overall and really an important part of me having the ambition and courage to start Nutritional Frontiers came from not only Dr. Weiner, but Dr. Bland had a big impact on that. So we talk about NFL overall. We're looking at the quality of the nutrient show is so important. You had somebody come in a few years ago and they said, the guy's here, he said, you gained weight from your protein. So I came out, I talked to him for a little bit, gained 14 pounds, and he said it was because of our protein powder. So after talking for a little bit, I finally picked up the protein and put it in his hands. I says, this one? He says, no. I got Body Fortress from Walmart. I said, okay, now we got the information we need. So not all supplements are created equally. I would hope you'd buy at least Nutritional Frontiers or another professional brand because the quality is different. They're all made in certified labs. So the whole thing that the cheap products don't test, they test, but it's poor quality of ingredients. Think of Capital Grill versus Mickey D's, Joe. What's the difference?
Well, the difference is in the quality of the product. You got a burger they say is 100% beef.
Yeah, head to tail,
head
the
to
whole
tail, the
darn
whole
thing.
thing. Or you've got a nice, grass-fed piece of steak. There's no comparison.
And we use a patent research ingredient. So what does that mean? The synergistic formulation. So, Joe, when you hear that word, what do you think of? What formula pops in your head?
Oh, the first one right off the bat is GI Complete.
I knew it.
You knew it, right? It has to be, because this is a formula that, it covers so many different aspects of gut health, repair, replenish, helps with soothing movements. And it's just going to do this, in a matter of days, a week or two. We've seen the results in a matter of days. And it's been untouched.
Yeah, and we don't use any toxic ingredients, right?
We haven't even changed it in 15 years because it's been that good.
No, we had it on the lemon lime flavor. I was just
That's
thinking
it.
that.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
Remember New Coke? That cost quite a few people their jobs, right?
Oh, I bet it did.
The number one brand in the world,
and they
changed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's working, keep it going. GI Complete, fantastic. We brought on the capsules. We brought on other flavors, the lemon lime. But we want better compliance, so better results and the best value, right? Because GI Complete used to be 5 different products together, right?
Yes.
So, and then no one's going to out-service us. We do our events here because we want to support the community. And we look at diabesity, Joe, the combination of diabetes and obesity.
Yeah.
Dr. Richard Silver has presented on that topic for the last couple
several
of years.
times.
So let's look at the foundation. So we look at glucolyze. Give us a little more info on the glucolyze, some of the research behind it.
Yeah, with glucolyze, and again, there's that keyword research, and it goes right back to the ingredients. We use a branded form of cinnamon, and not just that, but the correct amount. You see, the studies that come behind these patented research trademark ingredients, they're published studies because they're published for a reason. They can show the actual results. And you need 1,000 milligrams of this cinnamon extract to get the results they got in the studies. And that's how much is in that
And here's the study.
formula. There
This
you go.
diabetes care going all the way back to 2003. 1 gram, 1,000 milligrams, 3 or 6. And they found at even 1 gram, but that ingredient by itself helped between 18 and 29% with blood sugars and also blood lipids. The cholesterol, triglycerides, LDL, HDL, all improved.
Yep.
So that's why we do this. This is 60 people. So that's one of the main ingredients in the glucolyze, but we didn't stop there, of course.
Oh, no, we didn't stop there. You've got something, you got an herb that's been used for decades, Gymnema sylvestri. That's in there as well. And you have one of my favorite minerals that's really underrated. You know what that is, right? That is chromium, folks. Chromium is so important when it comes down to blood sugar.
Well, in
Helps
fact,
open the gate.
Joe does a lot of testing on the illegal scan,
Yeah.
some really innovative technology out of Germany, right? And I will test heavy metals, toxicity, vitamins, and minerals.
Yes.
So what do you find when you test the minerals with people with blood sugar issues?
They all are off the charts low in chromium and vanadium, but mainly chromium.
Yeah, zero.
And zero. There's none there. And that
Why is that?
Because, chromium's a trace mineral. So very, very small amounts, micrograms. And that means you still have to get it from the soil and the vegetables. Well, when they're depleted at an 80% rate, you're going to get very few milligrams of minerals, but as far as micrograms, you're getting zero.
Yeah, so the glucolyze really help manage the blood sugar levels, right? Make your cells more sensitive to insulin.
That's right.
Insulin's
That's
job
the
is like
chromium
the
part.
doorman. It rings the bell to allow the transport molecules to come up to the cell, right? Things like GLP-4, they'll come to the cell and then they'll open up and let nutrients into the mitochondria to be burned. So if you have higher levels of circulating blood sugars, they're not being driven into the cell.
That's right.
So the glucolyze is that doorman that will get you from outside the cell
To
inside the cell to be burned. And there's a combination of nutrients in there that makes this a very synergistic, and therapeutic formula. So that's going to make your cells utilize blood sugars better,
Right.
lower insulin levels. So I like about 2 to 3 times per day. What do you think?
Yeah, you need to get the 1 gram of cinnamon. You need 2 caps twice a day.
Right. So we like that. I also like to use a candy kill. We had someone earlier looking for berberine, and we were talking about, when you have these imbalances in the really this whole microbiome in the intestinal tract, right? You have the good and bad bugs, right? It's like a neighborhood, right? You can tolerate one bad neighbor.
Yeah.
What happens when you start to get more bad
When
neighbors?
it becomes a gang, then it's a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem. So we don't want the overgrowth of the bad bugs. You need yeast in there. You need some bacteria in there. You'll have some parasites, but once they start to overgrow and dominate, then it's a problem. And how does it make you feel when you have an overgrowth of candida?
Oh my God. Well, this is good. One of those things people don't understand why they're so fatigued, why they feel so sluggish. I think that's even a better word, right?
Yeah.
Sluggish.
What about
because
cravings?
Nothing's happening. Well, they're sluggish, and then the craving takes over because that's that instant little gratification that's only going to make it worse.
Yeah, the bad bugs crave their fuel, which is sugar, right? Alcohol, right? Dairy products and processed starches, because that's where they want to eat those as their fuel source. So we want to do with the program, this is great for blood sugar, obesity, weight loss, and we're going after the core causes. And we want to do is we want to starve the bad bugs.
Yes.
So I'm sorry, no sugar, 4 weeks, right? Maybe some people could do a little bit of berries or strawberries, but no bananas even, no starches. Get those out of your system for 4 weeks. No dairy products for 4 weeks, and no process. Right?
Yeah, and this gives you a good opportunity to eliminate dairy really on a regular basis, unless it's 100% organic.
So we want to starve them with the food program. We want to kill them with the Candy Kill, and then we want to replace them with the Superbiotics. So I like doing Candy Kill in the morning with the glucolyze. Then we do Superbiotics at night before bed, and I love to add in some type of shake during the day, right? First meal of the day should be some type of shake, which we're going to show here in a minute. If you need help with sleep,
food.
add those in. And, this is my protocol, actually. It was Adrenamax, Thyro Complete, and the Q10.
Yeah,
Because when your adrenal glands, your stress glands are depleted, you're going to crave sugar, right? You're going to crave salt.
Yep.
And when people have these imbalances...
Any kind of stimulant, really. Yeah.
So people can use those to stimulate themselves, right? So there's the studies on the glucose. There's some of my background. Blood sugars are improving. This is a couple of years ago. They've continued to get good. 216 down to 208 this year.
Ooh.
So another 8 pounds
Fight
down.
weight.
Yeah, we're getting good. Everything's improving. And that's the main thing, is to keep going in the right direction. Why is this so important when we look at toxicity, when we're talking about cellular dysfunction, which really what diabetes is, or diabesity, right? The cells are not communicating properly. They're not working properly. But we look at this toxicity because all your cells are made of fat.
That's right.
So we want to see, can you lose that fat cell, or you got to get rid of the toxin first?
You have to get rid of the toxin first.
Yeah.
Simple reason is if your liver can't handle the toxins, they reside then in the fat cells. That makes it incapacitates it to be burned as energy.
Yeah, when you look at it overall, who needs to detox?
Everybody.
This is back to 1982. I mean, you were kids back then, Joe. I was a teenager, at least.
I had a kid back then.
Oh, well, that's okay. So when we go back and look, this was a study done by the U.S. EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, and it was a xenobiotic toxicity study. So xenobiotic is from outside the body.
Right.
Right. They looked at plastics, pesticides. You've seen this list: solvents, perfumes, dioxins, and they did over 33,000 people. They took a cross section of their fat cells, and then they tested it to see if they contain these toxins. And what did they show? Lo and behold.
Did they contain them? Only 100%.
Yeah. How many people didn't contain them?
0.0.
Exactly. So there's a whole theory out there. If you have toxic fats, can you eliminate the fat cell?
You cannot.
No. So we had a example of this. When you look at these xenobiotic toxicities, these actually damage the cells, like making a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. Eventually, it doesn't look the same. So when you're replicating cells and they're loaded with toxins. Dr. Judy Mikovits, who's going to be up next talking about this, talks about the whole idea of the glyphosates sucking more toxins in the cell and being endocrine disruptors.
Oh my God, yeah. There's so many things with glyphosate. It's a toxin by itself, but it actually, like you said, expedites that whole process of absorbing them.
Rather than a normal cell replication, you have damaged cells and then leading to cancer cells. So what do we do with this young man? We just put him on two things. It was originally the Power Cleanser, now Ultimate Shake, and the greens new and improved. Why do we want a food base in the morning? Why do we do the shake a day?
It's about information. You want to give that vital information of good quality food to put it in your body first thing in the day of the day, because then it sets the pattern for the rest of the day.
So here he is, our buddy Dan. He says, did the cleanse and the greens, and I've been using them every morning. Happy to say I've lost 30 pounds in 30 days. Now, this guy isn't huge, Joe, by any means, right? He was swollen. His fat cells were swollen. The reason why is the body's solution to pollution is dilution. It wants to dilute those toxins so that it can handle them, right? It's too concentrated. And that's what you see. A lot of people, you don't put on more fat cells necessarily, but the fat cells will swell.
Swell up.
He said nutrition is so important. There are so many scams out there. You guys are doing it right. Feeling great, no meds. Again, appreciate your insight into the morning routine. No coffee in over a month and limited sugars. Much needed, right? So that's just doing one shake a day for 30 days. Here's a woman that came in where I was doing consults a few years back, 55-year-old diabetic, weight gain, elevated cholesterol. And what we found is that we put her on the program, glucolize, fish oil, and the shake a day, and the food program. Her blood sugars were cut by 50%. That's only in 8 weeks.
That's incredible.
258 down to 128. In addition, 22-pound weight loss in 8 weeks.
And that's a good, solid, healthy weight loss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to go more than 3 pounds a week. Usually it's 1 to 2 after you do your initial 5 pounds.
Yep.
So the great thing is A1C went down significantly in only 8 weeks. Tremendous results. So we look at this overall. Why are the vitamins and minerals so important, Joe?
Because the soil's been depleted, Jamie. They can go all the way back to 1937. That's when the Department of Agriculture first went to Congress and said the soil is depleted of its mineral content. Guess what Congress did?
Usually they do nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
So if it was depleted in 1937, what do you think it is?
I think it's gotten a lot worse, right? So JAMA jumped on board in 2002. This is over 20 years ago. I remember when this first came out. I was so excited. I said, "Oh, great! All the MDs now are going to get into no." Who got into it? The same people that like to get into it. So the key is that they recommended everyone needs a vitamin mineral every day. The only challenge is what?
Is which one are you going to use that your body's going to actually absorb?
Exactly. First of all, you need a veggie cap.
Yes.
No tablets. Why not?
The tablets in and of themselves are hard to break down, and then they coat them with this pharmaceutical shellac and make it even worse.
What about if they put colors in them? Like blue pills and yellow and orange?
Oh, you can see it right on the label. Red 40, blue 6. They're all in there.
Those are all toxins. So you don't want your vitamin to contain any toxins, especially those.
Yes.
So we have the Woman's Complete. This was established and developed and created by Dr. V, Dr. Maribel Verdialis, MD, OBGYN, fertility specialist, and naturopathic doctor. How many of those are in the country?
That's the only one I know
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
And she's been an integral part of the Nutritional Frontiers team. She's speaking next week at a professional training event. And she helped us create the Woman's Complete, which contains not one, but 7 PRTs, patented research, trademarked ingredients. This has everything you need in it, right, Joe?
Everything you need.
Does it have active vitamins?
Every single one of them are active
Covalent
vitamins.
bonded minerals?
That's right. They only count.
Probiotics?
In there. It's in there.
Superfoods?
They're in there.
DMG?
It's in there.
It's like your
Just
your
like a
sauce.
Papa sauce.
Yeah, it's all in there. So the great thing is that the right forms of these ingredients determine the bioavailability, how well your body sees them, and how well your body absorbs them. So normally in a multivitamin, what do you get?
And a multivitamin, normally you're only going to get some vitamins and minerals.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
And then in this one, we didn't stop there, right?
Ooh.
So the only thing you would need to add to this would be
an omega-3.
That's it, right? So we have the men's complete and the woman's complete, right? We have both of these. The men's is customized to meet the needs of a male, female, of course, and we still have the Frontier Multi.
Sure.
One of the key nutrients, these super biohackers, is DMG. Let's hear about DMG, otherwise known as darn mighty good.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to say damn mighty good. That's not one of the forbidden words.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
Yeah. But this goes back a long ways, folks. 5 U.S. patents on a single natural nutrient. Unheard of in the industry, Jamie. And we've had the pleasure of working with the father of DMG himself, Roger Kendall, for all these years, 15 years from day one.
It's not always a pleasure. I asked him what he was working on last time I saw him. He said, would you like a copy? I said, sure. He brought out, it was like 3 phone books. I said, Doc, is that all you have? I'm flying back. He said, well, let me give you a couple summaries. I said, okay. But he's a guy that his heart and passion is into it. He's constantly researching it for cancers, autoimmune, inflammation, joint health, oxidation of cells, lactic acid inhibition. It's just amazing what this nutrient
and when a
can
single
do.
nutrient like this can impress someone like Dr. Judy Mikovits or Dr. Bob or Dr. Tracy, then you know you've got something special.
Absolutely. When we talk about inflammation, Joe, there's a couple of different key pathways we're looking at. The EPA pathway and the DHA pathway, right? And then you see further down, these are components of fish oil. Further down, they turn into these pro-resolving mediators, right? And you have the 14, the 17, and the 18. These are able to manage inflammation at a deeper level, right? So if you're getting some results, but you're not getting over the hump or 100% results, that's where we bring in something like the ESPN, which we'll talk about in a minute. But every cell in your body has a fat membrane, right? If you look at the research done at St. Luke's Hospital in Kansas, this is actually published in JAMA in 1995. They want to know, what can we do with risk factors of primary cardiac arrest? And how does that correlate with the omega-3 content inside the cell? So basically, as your omega-3 content inside the cell grows, you get more omegas inside the cell, your risk of primary cardiac arrest goes down by 90%.
I mean, 90%. Why not be 100? It might as well be 100 if it's 90. That's how important that is.
90%, Joe.
Unbelievable. Statistically significant change is 10%. So we're 9 times that with this.
So when you think about this, if you were to test your cells and you had adequate levels, what would you do?
You would just keep taking it. Absolutely. Stay that way.
And if you test and you had low levels, what would you do?
Start taking it.
So do you need a test?
No.
Just take it.
Just take it.
So how many fish oil do you recommend to do? Let's look at the soft gels first.
Yes. Okay, so for most people, the omega-3D, if you have good general health, you can get away with 2 soft gels a day. And that's going to get you over 900 milligrams of EPA and DHA.
Let's look at this. So 3 of ours a day is over 90%. So at least 2 a day. You'd have to take 10 of the store brand fish oil to get the equivalent we get in 2.
Yeah, so does that make that one cheaper?
No, it's actually more expensive. And what's all the excess oil? Because this is going out at 25%. If you got 25% in school, what would happen?
You wouldn't
Left
be there.
back.
Oh, you're going back. Do it again.
And then you're in trouble at home. 60% barely passing. You need 90% to get those A's, and that's what you get with the omegas. And the SPM, incredible. Let's look at some of the highlights. C-reactive protein down 43%.
Single most important factor for heart disease right there, C-reactive protein. Absolutely.
And what's an indicator of chronic inflammation?
Chronic inflammation. Yes, it is.
So, folks, when you have the inflammation going on and the artery walls are damaged, then the body will come by with cholesterol and plaque it, similarly you would as a wall that has some cracks in it, right? And then that plaquing, when it continues to build up, it gets thicker and thicker, then the blood pressure goes up, right? Then other lipids go up. And then we're looking at, we're having a blockage, right? So that's an early warning sign, an indicator that we better do something. And this is all done on 2 soft gels a day.
That's it.
PG2, the pro-inflammatory prostaglandin, down within 4 weeks. And what about fibrinogen rates? Why are we concerned with those with strokes?
Oh yeah,
blood clots.
this is that buildup. This is that buildup in the arteries that are eventually will just stop blood flow, and then that's it. That's when you have.
These
a
are all
stroke.
published studies from PubMed, right? So you can go up there and look for it with PubMed. So we're going on this last case study. This is actually me a few years ago, Joe. So I had this breakout
Yeah, I
of
remember.
psoriasis.
Yeah.
This is April of 21 or so. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I did some food inflammation testing we have here at the Wellness Center. And if you look at it, I was shocked that red alert was bananas.
And how many were you eating a day?
I was doing at least a half a banana to take my supplements in the morning. And I knew cow's milk, which I don't really do much or any.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the other things I was familiar with that were going to be an issue. But I was really surprised that bananas came up. So I did it. I updated my program here, right? I added in some support with the SPMs to take care of this. And then, you know, here's my results you can see in 3 months.
Yeah, wow. That's incredible. Yeah, that's the...
And I've continued to maintain that for over another year.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just when I see something like this, Jamie, and I think of all these commercials for these drugs and psoriasis and all these things, and I think, you know, you're just going about it all wrong. We've got to address it from a nutritional standpoint, from the inside out.
And you got to really run for the cause, not the cure. The cause of mine was food allergies, inflammatory foods. And people say, well, how come Joey eats those and nothing happens? That's Joey. He can eat what he wants, right? Your body is individualized, right? And you got to realize, too, oftentimes it's foods that you eat a lot of. Why is that?
Yeah, because when you eat these foods, they cause these reactions. Your body wants more and more. It starts that craving aspect. So yeah, you're going to want it even more.
So don't be surprised if the foods that come up are things that you eat all the time.
All the time, right.
Especially as you reduce what you're eating. I remember a woman came into the Wellness Center years ago. She had really bad skin issues. And she said, Doc, I'm doing everything. I'm down to eating only boiled chicken. He goes, you have a chicken allergy. He says, well, that's the only thing I can eat. He says, take that out. And sure enough, she did before we did the testing. So there you go. You can actually go to the underlying cause of it. And usually it's something that you're putting in your body voluntarily. So if you like, schedule an appointment. Give them a call, 412-922-WELL, 412-922-9355. What about the new website? What's it called?
Ooh, yes, that's
What's
great.
that address, Joe?
Yeah, that's easy. That's WOW, WOWPGH, WowPittsburgh.com.
Well, there you go. Come on down. We're live. If you need directions, give us a call, 412-922-9355. We got the food truck out front. We got workshops going on. The bar is open. We got Frankie over there. Has got some empty saunas. He's got to come down here and do the demo in the sauna. We got the cloud therapy. We're ready to roll, folks. Come on down, 2419 Balwick Road. We appreciate all support on this beautiful Saturday here in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. Come on down. We want to see you. We always love when the energy circulating throughout this place. So we will see you soon.
Have a great day, and God bless.